Your Excellency, Charles Savary and Mrs. Savary, former President of Dominica, Mr. Elud Williams and Mrs. Williams, Honorable Reuben Blackmore, Acting Prime Minister, Honorable Robert Tong, Minister for Tourism and Urban Renewal, other cabinet colleagues, Mr. Xavier Detribats, President of the Kempinski Group, Mr. Mohamed Asseria, Vice President of Range Developments, other permanent secretaries, Pastor Daniel, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today, let me, as parliamentary representative, although my colleague, Honorable Robbie Tong, has welcomed you, but it gives me great pride and pleasure to welcome you to this part of the island and to also apologize for the absence of my neighboring colleague, Honorable Reginald Austri, who is out of state at this point in time. But like was said before of the Prime Minister, I can say the same of Honorable Reginald Austri. I know that his spirit is here with us today. Today marks a historic and proud moment for Dominica, and more specifically for us on the North. As parliamentary representative for the Portsmouth constituency, I have had the privilege to welcome many individuals, groups, organizations, businessmen to one of the most scenic and touristic and economically viable locations in Dominica, here on the north of Dominica, more popularly known as Bell Hall, but officially the Douglas Bay and the entire Cabrits area for that matter of fact. I'm especially delighted today to welcome the range development partners here with us, and also the Kempinski Hotel chain developers here with us today. And I can invite you now to consider this your home. This 140-room Romance Suite Hotel, which will be in harmony between land and sea, waves and wildlife, and ensure an experience from sunrise to sunset. I think Mohammed was the one who said that. So if it's in your speech, you better take it off. I beat you to it. We want to say thanks to God Almighty, first of all, for giving us such fine weather here today. We are indeed delighted to be part of this ceremony here. And it has been a well-known fact for decades now. In fact, since the Shanklin and Cox report of the 1960s, 1969, my colleague Emmanuel Nanton reminds me, that this part of Dominica has always been established as best suited for hotel and tourism development. In 1968, our then Premier, E.O. Leblanc, enacted legislation creating what was popularly known as the Sunday Island Port Authority, which granted a Dominican-based American poultry farmer, his name was Bruce Robinson, the right to set up a massive development scheme at the Cabrits. I'm a student of history, so I just want you to know how long we've been at this thing, from one Labour Party government to the next, and many in between. And so the first stage of that project at that time, estimated at about $8 million at the time, involved the construction of a jetty, a 200-foot airstrip, and some people are still saying that it is possible for us to have the airstrip. And also with police and customs accommodation, and even a power plant at the time. The second stage of the project involved road building and sewage disposal facilities and was estimated at about $6 million at the time. The entire project, if completed, was intended to attract a wide influx of tourists and significantly alter the pristine landscape of Portsmouth and its environs. And so several governments since then have all attempted to implement the 1969 Shanklin and Cox recommendation, from Sunday Island Port Authority to another project when that failed called Valhalla, to the ill-fated Eckart some years ago, this German guy on the other side of the peninsula that most of us know about. All of those have resulted in aborted attempts to develop the area. But hope springs eternal. And we have been blessed with a hard-working government headed by an absolute visionary genius who continues to craft a foreign policy and diplomatic strategy geared towards an aggressive national development agenda. So on behalf of all the of all the constituents of both Portsmouth and the other neighboring constituencies, I want to welcome each and every one of you to this ceremony and to say to you, welcome to the future playground of the rich and famous. The Kempinski Hotels chain, as we have been told before, is an international hotel chain which was founded in Berlin, in Germany, in 1897, which makes it one of Europe's, or in fact, the oldest hotel group in Europe. Its corporate office is now located in Geneva, Switzerland. Kempinski Hotel currently operates, like we have been told, 75 five-star hotels in 30 countries around the world. Kempinski is the founding member of the Global Hotel Alliance, the world's largest alliance of independent hotels. For 20 years, the modern progressive five-star hotel enjoyed an undisputed status of the sole luxury hotel in West Berlin. And that is the kind of marketing and promotion might that they will be coming to the island with. In fact, the days of people confusing Dominica with the Dominican Republic are soon over, thanks be to God. The resort, which will be constructed on the location where we now stand, or where we now sit, or where I now stand, will be a major game changer for the North and for Dominica in general. We have always believed that this area is one of Dominica's prime locations for tourism development. This hotel will certainly establish this claim and bring to reality the dreams and aspirations of many leaders of the North, and more specifically, the father of the nation, who I referred to earlier on, Edward Oliver LeBlanc of blessed memory. As parliamentary representative for the Portsmouth constituency and Minister for Trade, Energy and Employment, I know the economic impact of this hotel both during and after the construction phase. Much needed employment for many of our people, a major consumer of our agricultural crops, vegetables, meats and fish, and other services. Stimulation of interest in pursuing careers in tourism and tourism management. Improvement in the provision of other ancillary services, very much like what Ross University have done on the other side of the town. Increased sales and revenues to businessmen and merchants. A general improvement in the sense of pride and well-being of our people, not only those who will work at this establishment, but all of those who will be associated with this development. I wish to thank the principals of range development and the executives of Kempinski for choosing Dominica, and more specifically for choosing this site, and the twin constituencies of Portsmouth and Cottage for this investment. The Honorable Reginald Austri, who regrettably is unable to be here with us today, in fact sends his best regards. And I will do, and in fact we will do, all within our remit to provide the support required to assist the rapid construction of this hotel. I also encourage Dominica to not only take advantage, or Dominicans, to not only take advantage of the opportunity presented here, but to do all within our power to support this development and encourage other interests. Again, I want to congratulate the range developers and the Kempinski Group of Hotels for choosing this site in Portsmouth and the Commonwealth of Dominica. God bless, Godspeed, and I thank you very much.